just be a regular service, but let this be an exciting service, Lord. And we shall shake the gates of hell today, Father, with our praise. We shall shake the gates of hell with our shouts unto you, Father, and give you glory right now. Father, bless us from the front to the back, Father, and everyone in between, Father, those that are on their way. Give them travel mercy today, Lord. Let them come in with joy in their hearts and a praise on their lips, Father. In your Son, Jesus' name we pray, Lord. Amen.
Amen. Good morning, champions. How you guys doing this morning? Y'all look so pretty. All right, well, bring your pretty selves up to the altar. Let's go before the Lord together. Come on, don't be shy. If you're a visitor with Champions, welcome. We want to welcome you the right way by going before the Lord together. Amen. So come on up to the altar. us, Jesus. We're so thankful for you, God. Are you guys thankful for God? Are you thankful for the activity of your limbs? Are you thankful that He woke you up this morning? Are you thankful for Him giving breath to your body? He breathed into you the breath of life, and you are here to worship Him this morning. Isn't that great? Hallelujah. Come on, lift your hands before the Father. Some of you guys are coming in a little bit late, but come on up to the altar. Don't be shy. We want to go into worship together as one body, as the champions that we are. Hallelujah. Lord, we ask that you draw us closer and closer to you, God. Hallelujah. We want more of you, Jesus. If you want more of the Lord, just lift your heart to Him and open up to receive everything that He has for you today. Hallelujah. We want more of you, Jesus. We want more of you, Jesus. More of you, Jesus. More of you, Jesus. More of you, Lord. We want more of you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah. Draw me close to you.
Yes, God. Come on.
Thank you, Jesus. Never let me go. I'll lay it all down again. Anything for you, Jesus. To hear you say that I'm your friend. Yeah. You are my desire. Oh, and no one else will do. For nothing else can take your place. To feel the warmth of your embrace.
Shabbat the Lord in the best way you know how. Amen. I don't have to be Christian, but I'm necessary. God, I thank you right now. I'm necessary. Tell a neighbor this morning I'm anything but average. No matter what comes at me today, I'm anything but average. Tell somebody else this morning I'm anything but average. Don't worry about what it looks like, what I smell like, what I don't have. Tell yourself this morning, I am anything but average. Oh, I'm anything today but average. Amen. And if you believe that this morning, put your hands together. Yeah. I came expecting this morning. Anybody came expecting miracles today, signs and wonders from a God that still is a living God? Well, if you believe that this morning, make some noise. No, that's for the dead. I need about 50 people that are alive in here this morning. That if God has been good to you, you ought to open your mouth and make some noise. He did what they said couldn't be done. He made a way out of no way. You need to stop. The problem is in here is that you're not preparing for your blessings. You're not preparing and putting yourself in a place that I can accept my blessing. The way I do that is praise God unconditionally. Now, are you ready for your blessings? I don't care what people say about you, you still amazing. I don't care how they look down at you, you still amazing. I don't care if you don't have what you desire to have, you're still amazing. I don't care if you've been through 3 divorces, you still amazing. I don't care if you've been sick, you still amazing. If your bank account is at 0, it doesn't make you. You're still amazing. I didn't have my best day yesterday, but you're still amazing. Dark days have been in your life, but you are still. You're still amazing. You've been battered, beat on, talked about, spit on, crucified, stoned to death with words. Yet you have to encourage yourself and say, self, I'm still amazing. We don't give ourselves enough credit. We got to try this again. Say, self, I'm still amazing. That's the wrong side. Let me come to the wild side over here. Say, self, I'm still amazing. Let me try the middle. Barry, get him right in the middle. Get him right in the middle, Barry. Get him right in the middle. Let me hear it in the middle. Somebody say, self, I'm still amazing. Now let's everybody tweet this place chapter 20, verses 1 through 9. Come on now. Real quick, Jeremiah chapter 20. Yeah. 1 through 9. He don't let me cut up this morning. I feel good. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I can't speak for you. You may be a coward, but I'm a lion. I fight for mine. Yes. 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 Jeremiah said, when the priest Pashur, son of Immer, the official in charge of the temple of the Lord, heard Jeremiah prophesizing these things. Yes. He heard him prophesying these things. He had Jeremiah, the prophet, beaten. Somebody say, oh my God. And put in the stocks at the upper gate of Benjamin, at the Lord's temple. Now the next day, when Pashur released him from the stocks, Jeremiah said to him, the Lord's name for you is not Pashur, but terror on every side. For this is what the Lord says, I will make you a terror to yourself. Jesus. I'll make you a terror to yourself and to all your friends. With your own eyes you will see them fall by the sword of their enemies. I will give all Judah into the hands of the king of Babylon, who will carry them away to Babylon or put them to the sword. Yes, yes. I will deliver all the wealth of this city into the hands of their enemies. Jesus. Tell the neighbor, God ain't playing. Yes. All its products, all its valuables, and all the treasures of the kings of Judah, they will take it away as plunder and carry it off to Babylon. Yes. And you, Pashur, and all who live in your house will go into exile to Babylon. There you will die and be buried, you and all your friends to whom you have prophesied lies. Next scripture, please. Now listen to this. Now this is what we're going to get to. Now listen to what Jeremiah says at this point. You deceived me, Lord, and I was deceived. You overpowered me and prevailed. I am ridiculed all day long. Everyone mocks me. Yes, whenever I speak, I cry out proclaiming violence and destruction. So the word of the Lord has brought me insult and reproach. Somebody say all day long. All day long. All day long. All day long. But if I say I will not mention his word or speak anymore in his name, his word is in my heart like a fire. Oh, somebody say fire. Fire. A fire shut up in my bones. I am weary of holding it in. Indeed. Oh, somebody say indeed. Indeed, I cannot. Oh, and we shall continue today with a beautiful text. I wanted to quit, but my spirit wouldn't let me. Jesus, turn around and tell 3 people, I wanted to quit, but my spirit wouldn't let me. I wanted to quit, but my spirit wouldn't let me. Oh, I wanted to quit. I wanted to quit, but my spirit wouldn't let me. Yeah, I wanted to quit. Of course I wanted to quit. It got too hard. I was giving up, moving the towel, waiting to play. My spirit wouldn't let me. My spirit wouldn't let me. How many wanted to quit? But your spirit just wouldn't let you. You would have been through the towel in, but your spirit wouldn't let you. It had gotten beyond you. If it was up to you, you would have been quit. But your spirit. Somebody turn around one time and say, thank God for the spirit. If it wasn't for the spirit, I would have quit on you, God. I would have gave up. Now, Father, bless this house. Bless this house this morning like never before. We gonna pray our way into a breakthrough. We gonna bless you, Lord, and worship you into a breakthrough today. No more sorrow, no more looking down, no more walking without backs bent. God, today is your day of recompense. We thank you for the word that's getting ready to go forth. Have your way in this place, God. Move like you've never moved before. Do something new in our lives. Turn the page for us, God. And it's in you we trust this morning. And Lord, we say thank you. Thank you, God, for what you've already done, what you're doing, and getting ready to do. No weapon formed against me, Father. No weapon formed against these people, Father, shall prosper. No weapon formed against these people shall prosper. And every tongue that rises against them shall be condemned. And to you be all the glory, all the honor, and all the praise. As your spirit fall fresh in this place, no one will leave. No one will leave the same way they came, God. Oh, and it is so in your Son Jesus' name. Now put your hands together. Oh, put them together. Open your mouth and say, thank you. Yeah, God, thank you. Yes, 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 yes. I almost quit, man. I almost quit. Look, my spirit wouldn't let me. Put those hands together. Put those hands together. Let's run the devil right up out of here. Run him up out your life. Run him out. Run him out. Run him out. Run him out. Run him. Run him. Run him. Run him. Run him. Run him out. Run him out. Amen. 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 Yes and amen. My God still lives. Amen. My God still lives. My God still lives. Yes. Yes. Have your seats. Amen. Amen. God bless all of our visitors this morning. God bless you. I wanted to quit, but my spirit would not let me. Who I wanted to quit. I was knocked down on the canvas. The referee had already started to count. But right before he got to 10, God gave me something on the inside that started working on the outside that gave me just enough strength to rise. Amen. You ready to run, Jay? Amen. Turn the lights off. I want to show this clip and then we're going to dive into the message. Somebody say amen. 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 Buster Douglas' mother had just passed a couple of days prior to the largest fight in his career. Buster Douglas was fighting the champion, Mike Tyson of the world, who was at this time undefeated. His mother dies. Nobody has him to win but him. On his mother's deathbed, she made a request. Her request was simple. It wasn't to become a preacher or a deacon. It was to handle the business at hand. Go out there and do what the world said can't be done. Go out there and slay this giant. She told him that times would get hard, as they did in the 8th round. He was knocked down, but he wasn't knocked out. And there's somebody in here today who's in a state of being where you have been knocked down. But I came to tell you, you're not knocked out. With the count at 9, Buster Douglas had just enough spirit in him to get up. Grace by God allows the bell to ring after he got up. It was his time. He wouldn't have had that moment of time had he stayed down. He would have got the same amount of money he signed the contract for. But his mama instilled something in him. See, his mama knew what he was going to be before he was born. His mom knew what he would be while he was in her womb. She knew that she was getting ready to birth something special. He goes on to beat Mike Tyson. He slays the giant. But I couldn't help but pondering, Mayor Dixon, what would have happened had he laid down for the count in the 8th round. A lot of us in here today, me included, at times in our lives, stayed down when we should have got up. We made an excuse and say it was enough to go into the fight. We never had in our mind the art of winning. We have to be careful when we get into these type of places, when we're knocked down on the canvas, because it's so easy to quit. So hard to get up, knowing that what you're going to get up and face isn't going to change. He knew when he got up, Mike Tyson was going to still be Mike Tyson. And that's the same thing today, Fred. Sometimes when we get up, Satan doesn't change. So when you get off the ground and ask God for forgiveness and you get back up and say, today I fight the good fight of faith, you have to understand that your enemy won't change. The only person that changes is you. Buster Douglas made up in his mind that I'm going to slay this giant, because regardless of what my flesh says, my spirit has a voice. So when your flesh gets you to the place where you want to quit, or your flesh gets you to the place that you want to make excuse, you have to rely on something that's stronger than flesh, and that's called your spirit. Now Jeremiah is in a place where God has caused him to prophesy. He's prophesying to a people in the place that he lives that everything he prophesied is violent, killing and death. And it's at the point to where the people make mockery of him. They make mockery of him because, like church folk, we only believe prophecies are good prophecies. But all prophecies are the same. You determine whether it's good or bad. All prophecies, definition-wise, is to forecast your future. It's to warn you of things that are to come. But they didn't like him. And because they didn't like Jeremiah, because they didn't like what he was saying, which was the truth, he got to a point where he was weak and he couldn't stand on his own. He wouldn't stand with God. He became flustered. And he fed the one thing that never needs feeding, which is his flesh. He feeds his flesh, and he gets to a place to now he wants to turn his back on God. He wants to quit on his maker. He wants to quit. I like how Franklin D. Roosevelt said it. He said, when you have come to the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on. Franklin D. Roosevelt had something spectacular going on. He said, when you get to the end of your rope, it doesn't mean you have to fall. Jesus. He said, just tie a knot and hold on. And if you hold on long enough, there's an old saying grandmama used to say, change don't come. Franklin D. Roosevelt said that when you come to the end of your rope, and that may be physically, spiritually, mentally, I hear a lot of people often say, you driving me crazy. It amazes me because a lot of times that's parents talking to the children. Trying to figure out how can a child make a parent go crazy. Somebody say, just have one. But he says something that's very pivotal here. He says, tie a knot. He never said quit. He never said let go. He said, just tie a knot, baby, and hold on. Yeah, you ain't got but half a car. Keep putting gas in it. Keep putting that metal in the floor so they can't see outside on the ground, and keep rolling. Yeah, you don't have the best furniture in your house, and it's kind of rough for you to allow people to come over. That's okay. Be proud of where you are. Sometimes you have to let your enemies see where you are so they can believe what God is doing on down the line. Yeah, you just got to tie a knot. You're not making what you want to make right now, but keep working. Keep moving. Don't quit the job and don't have nothing else. Now you got something, you don't even have a rope. How do I quit? There's an old saying, my mom always tell baby, don't quit one till you get one. Have one in the pocket, then quit this one. Don't quit and then go out there and never step out on faith. Now go ahead and do the work first. Faith without works is dead. I need you to put that work up front this time. Get another job, then quit this job. He said, tie a knot. In the end, everything will be okay. If it's not okay, it's not yet the end. And I'm quoting Fernando Sabino. In the end, everything will be okay. If it's not okay, it's not yet the end. Keep on keeping on. Keep on moving forward. But whatever you do, don't quit. One of my favorites, when everything seems to be going against you, somebody got to say hallelujah. Everything seems to be going against you. Remember that airplanes take off against the wind, not with it. Jesus Christ. I'm quoting Henry Ford. Henry say, remember when everything seems to be going against you. He say, remember, airplanes take off going into the wind, not with the wind. Oh my God. Oh my God. We can go home on that. That worked through Vacation Bible Study right now. Because we want this glory without a story. We want everything to be given to us, but God already gave the best he got. God has nothing better to give than what he gave in his son Jesus. He's already given his best. So when you ask God to raise his hands as high as he could, he did it the first time. I did one in here one time. I said, raise your hand as high as you can. And everybody raised their hand. And I said, now raise it higher. And everybody raised their hands higher. I said, well, you made yourself out of a liar the first time you didn't raise your hand as high as you could have, because the second time you would have said, I can't go no more. Yeah. I gave my best shot the first time. You have to understand, God is looking for our very best.
Yes, sir.
The first time. Wow. We get behind because we don't give God our very best the first time because of adversity and the adversary and the enemies and circumstances and environments and all these things. We don't give him our best the first time. So if we would have gave him our best the first time, now he can open up the windows of heaven. He said, I can't open up the windows of heaven for you, baby. You ain't got to the panel yet. You're still in the kitchen because you didn't give your very best. You must remember that when you're looking at visions, visions are going to pull you in a place where you can't see. Wow. That's a vision. I'm visualizing what I have faith in will come. I can't see it, but I believe it. I don't know how, but it shall come to pass. Amen. That's a bit. That's what I need when I'm flying. I have to understand that anytime I say yes to God, there's going to always be some wind going against me called adversity. There's going to be some wind called Satan. There's going to be some wind called friends. Yes. I hate to bust bubbles this morning, but all your friends aren't your friends. Most of your friends look at you as a crutch. You're a cane for whatever their need is. If you're a drinker, they're going to be your drinking buddy. Stop drinking and watch how your friends change. Ask me how I know. I'm glad you asked. My friends changed. My friends changed when I stopped, because I didn't supply what they needed to live. When you're in a marriage and things go sour, it's because one of you in that marriage have stopped supplying what the other spouse needs to live. Jesus Christ. I'm not fine no more. It ain't got nothing to do with your body most of the time. You're not providing what that person needs to live. You can't feed a 5-year-old baby food, the Gerber baby food. They won't like it no more. They loved it when they was a baby. But things have to shift. And we as Christians have to understand change. We have to understand that when we start making a decision to go a new way in life, there's going to be some wind that tries to hold us back. But if we can go through the wind and let God know as well as us that we are amazing. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. You are wonderful. You just haven't been told in a while. You should be way beyond where you are. But you lost your focus. You became distracted by our greatest enemy, people.
Wow.
You became distracted by what other people would think. Who cares? What other people are going to say? Who cares? No, that doesn't matter to me. I don't care what come hell or high water. I'm amazing. It doesn't matter. Bald head, wavy hat, 10 pounds extra don't matter. I'm amazing. Because the picture that's painted in the Bible, even with Jeremiah was special before birth. Just like Jesus was. Jesus didn't put a lot of money into clothing. He had to borrow a donkey to go into Jerusalem on a Sunday where everybody praised him, knowing that Friday they'll crucify him. He rode a donkey. And they still applauded him on the donkey. He didn't even know who donkey it was. He just sent somebody to go get a donkey. Over here at their house, get a donkey. They in the house eating, get the donkey while they eat. I need to show you strength in humility. I need to show you what it's like that when I'm humble, then I can be abased. I need to show that no matter what happens, quitting ain't on my mind. All it prepares me for is a good fight. The problem is, y'all fighting the wrong people. Y'all fighting bills, your next door neighbor over parking spots, Johnny throwing stuff in your yard, your neighbor at work you can't stand, your co-worker. We're fighting the wrong people. We're fighting the people that Satan sends to us instead of just fighting Satan. You know how the world has gotten rich off the middleman? Yeah, a lot of times, you don't really have to go to a car dealership to purchase a car anymore. You can order a car off, Jesus Christ. You can order a car offline and get a better deal. Yeah, get a better deal and get insurance and all that good stuff, bumper to bumper, a lot longer than the car dealership. But the car dealership, no, people don't trust themselves. Because people don't think that they are amazing. And so they're going to come in there to let them do the work that you can do yourself, and then they're going to get their money off of you. You're feeding them for something you can do. Wow. So we quit on ourselves. Yeah. Jeremiah quit on his prophecy. He tried to quit on the vision. But something inside him wouldn't let him. If you're going through hell, keep going. And you know, this is my favorite. One of my favorite guys right here. I love Winston Churchill. I love what Winston stood for. I love that grit. I love the grit that came with that grit. He says, if you're going through hell, keep going. Why stop? Why stop? When you're right in the middle, one step going the right way out the middle means I'm over halfway going out. I'm over halfway home. But we get caught up in the middle. We won't go as far as we should because we quit. What causes us to quit? Fatigue. We become lethargic. Negative influence. Camouflage persuasion. Those are things that cause us to quit. I just want to quit. I was in the back talking to a minister this morning. Her daughter's getting ready to graduate school. And I said, you know what's amazing to me is that when we have single parents in the church jacked up. We don't know when to rejoice. We don't rejoice over the things with substance. We rejoice over intangibles. Now say somebody's getting a car and watch half of the people here, they jumping because they say if I pray and rejoice with them, I'm going to get a new car. They're not really happy because you got a new car. They're happy because they say if I rejoice with those that do rejoice, then maybe I'll receive what they got. And so maybe I'm going to get a new car. Ooh, I'm getting out this Nova. But Elder Lewis, we don't rejoice when a single parent mother got a child that's getting ready to graduate, that you know she's been through hell and back to make sure that kid graduates with honors. We don't have women in the church running in saying, baby, I'm proud of you. Your son graduated and you did it all by yourself and God. We don't shout around the church on that. She getting married. You're shouting for it in because you want to be married. But Sister Lisa Craven, boy, I can talk to my family. They're rejoicing with them, get out the door and talk about how she getting married. She ain't even got no waist. Hey, you know that's what they're saying. That's exactly what they're saying. I don't know how she getting married, honey, all that weave. Yeah, they put a lot of women are treacherous now. That's what they say, D. She's that cheap weave. Fiance at the church like, I didn't know it was weed. Maybe I should reconsider. I like Jeremiah because he is bipolar. He is, but so are we. Some days we trust God with all we have, depending on the circumstance, and some days we become worry warts. Some days we laugh if it's a small issue that we see we can overcome, and then we scream and cry when it's a mountain that we're not sure we can move. That makes us bipolar because the source never changes. God is still God. That lets me know that we change. Well, Jeremiah is one who was bipolar. He was up and down all the time. But tell a neighbor he was necessary.
He was necessary.
Oh, he was the only prophet God instructed not to pray for his own nation.
That's right.
He said, don't pray for your nation. There's a bunch of rural people over there. Some of y'all been trying to save cousin Ted forever. God said, Ted gonna have to learn. Ted can become your excuse as to why you quit. Because sometimes if you hang on too long, that flesh becomes stronger than your spirit, and you become, or I should say you succumb to the flesh. That's why I always tell people, be careful who you hang with.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because you'll be back out there before you know it, man. You back where you was, and you lying to yourself saying, I'm going to get back. But the Bible says that it's harder to get here, leave, and to come back. But we get out and then the world show us all this glamour and grit and its glitz and all these good things, and it's temporary for a season. And we forget the God who has blessed us, who has saved us. And that's what makes us bipolar. We forget the one who just did something for us. I like Jeremiah because, like Paul, he's one who God said don't get married. There was only two of them. He was the other one. Don't you marry nobody from here. I tell people all the time before you get married, make sure you go to a 4th of July reunion or something with that family so you can see what it's really like, Fred. And I tell them, you make sure you watch that. If you the woman going with him to his family reunion, you watch his daddy and his mama. And if they cutting up there and fighting and carrying on, you just pray you get on. I got to go. I'm going to Quick Trip. I'll be back. He told Jeremiah, don't marry nobody where you from, not in that nation. There's nothing good there. He also was the most despised prophet in the Old Covenant. He was never liked.
Come on now.
Moses had people like him at some point. People like Elijah, Isaiah. Nobody really liked Jeremiah because of what God had given him. His assignment was an assignment that wasn't popular. Because his assignment talked about destruction and violence. You see what he told the official? What's going to happen to your friends and your family? He tells him, you're going to die in Babylonia. Now, Babylon was God's gift to all those people who thought they had arrived. Okay, I don't have no Bible readers in here today. Yeah, you better read up on Babylon. Babylon was God's gift. When he had problems, send Babylon over there to take care of them. Them jokers there, they ruthless. The Babylonians were ruthless. Go in there and take over. I'm going to show them how I've been gracing them. I've been holding you back from them, not them themselves. He tells this official that, and the official goes on and whoops him and beat him for a prophecy. For warning him, he beats him, and then the next day he comes out, and then Jeremiah gets worse. See, the problem is, Jeremiah don't realize what's coming out of him because it's God working through him. And a lot of times, when God is really working through you, you don't really realize what you're prophesying. Ask anybody who is a prophet. Half of the time, Sister Lisa, they will forget. That's why you have to have somebody writing. Because a true prophet a lot of times will forget some of the things that God is downloading through them. Because it's not them, they're just a vessel. But Jeremiah, at this point, we have to understand he was still a boy. So he hadn't truly grasped the spirit yet. He hadn't truly grasped his responsibility, as is us. You just joined Champions and you're trying to feel your way through. You came from a church that was bona fide tradition, but wasn't moving. Ain't nothing against the pastor, but the church ain't moving. The church died. And then you come somewhere where it's a little different. And the thing that's different is that these jokers dissecting. They're getting ready to take over the community. They refuse to be anything less than a pillar in Fayetteville, Riverdale, and Jonesboro. That's what we're working toward. How do we esteem education in these counties? How do you let people know, hey, God's children here, holler at me? How do we get to that point? People don't want to get to that point because people are so fearful of what other people are going to say. We are so scared of what other people are going to say. And that's what's holding you back. You're so scared of what other people are going to say. They're going to say something that's derogatory, that's going to change your whole mindset. You left home that morning, you had declared and decreed that I'm a business owner. I'm starting my business next week. I'm a business owner, so I'm starting my business next week. That's what you're doing. And then you get to work with somebody, girl, you know what, you ain't gonna be able to get no loan with your credit. You're not gonna be able to get no loan with your credit. And what happens? You quit. You give up on your dream. It may take you 30 years to get to your dream. It doesn't matter the time, just as long as you get there. Buster Douglas, his name was never big again. He lost shortly thereafter. But he was on the mountaintop for a day. Because of what he believed. He had something in him. His mother's spirit set something off in him that he refused to be denied. And that's what I'm saying today. Don't quit. Refuse at some point to be denied. You can have what you say you can have, be what you say you can be, and do what you say you can do if you just believe. Buster Douglas, a no-name, tore down a giant who was way more skillful and strong. But it was his day. And all it takes for you to be successful, Tim, is coming to God's fruition in your day. Don't miss your opportunity when God puts it before you. Because when God puts the opportunity before you, it's going to be bigger than what you can do by yourself. As David and Goliath. But David was so fired up, he didn't care how big the giant was. He knew what his giant could do. The problem is the church that we can tell you everything about the enemy and can't tell you nothing about our Savior, Jesus. That's the problem right there. We can tell you everything about the enemy and can't tell you nothing about our doctor. Can't tell you nothing about him except Jesus died on the cross, and then you don't really understand the true significance of the cross. I go to church. Going to church isn't enough. Going to church is not, hear me church, it's not enough to go to church. You will not get into heaven off of perfect attendance. You won't get into heaven by wearing heels and pantyhose and nice makeup and earrings. You won't get into heaven by wearing a three-piece suit. You can only get into heaven if you believe and confess. That's the only way. Jesus said, if I got to die for you, you're going to have to come through me for everything. I don't care how you look, how you smell, where you live, what's your zip code, don't matter to me. Ain't but one way in. And that's through me. But we've forgotten that, so we want to quit because Jesus said to come through me, there are some stipulations. There are some stipulations. To come through me, you have to first confess that you are a sinner. Come on. Ooh, we don't want to do that. We don't want, how dare you call me a sinner? You know, the men got something to go. I think the ladies in the church had it already, called this thing where you pair up with people, accountability partner. Amen. Yeah, secret sister, they call it, but it's an accountability partner. You know why people don't like accountability partners? Come on, Patricia, they don't like accountability partners because they're afraid somebody's going to learn they mess. We don't want to get with people that can help us because we're afraid they're going to see our weakness. So we what? We stay by ourselves. And we won't bow down and humble down to get this greatness they serving at this table. We want to go somewhere where it's easy. We won't stay nowhere where it's tough. We won't stay, Jordan, where it's tough. We want to go somewhere where it's easy. You make your road easy. Yeah. And you make your road easy by giving your life to Christ. And then he'll remove the burdens and he'll destroy your yokes. But we have to get on the narrow road first. Jeremiah is on the narrow road, but it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable because the job description that God has given him is tough. Who wants to prophesy that? You'll be dead and your family's going to be dead and you're going to be buried in a country that you didn't even reign over. But right now I'm still reigning. What you going to say? Man, you tripping. I'm not tripping. That's what the Lord said. Did I say? I didn't even know I said that to you. Lord, why you keep doing this to me? Why you keep speaking through me like this, God? You're making me look crazy. Don't nobody want to talk to me. They talk bad about me. I want to quit. So now Jeremiah does what we do. What's our normal? He turns his back on God. When God gets silent, it doesn't mean that he's left you. He just wants you to finish the assignment. He said, now, I know what you're made of. I gave it to you before you were born, but I want you to see what you're really made of. I want you to see the stock that you're from. That you're not really as tough as you think, or you're tougher than you think. You choose. That's what he's saying to Jeremiah. Jeremiah said, I don't even want to talk about you no more. Why do you keep doing this to me? Jeremiah's flesh said he quit.
Come on, man.
Oh, but his spirit wouldn't let him.
All right.
You know how it is when you were younger and you went on trips? How many of y'all when you were younger you went on trips? It might not have been many, but you went. I'm not saying you went to Tokyo or you went to Cancun when you were young and you went to Stone Mountain. Back then, Stone Mountain was good for us. You were younger and you went to Stone Mountain. And you know the night before, your body says it's time to go to sleep. But your spirit won't let you. All you can think about is the train at Stone Mountain. I can't wait to ride the train at the mountain. And you eating the same thing you eat at home. Your mom ain't been able to stop at Publix back then and get all this fancy food. She fixed bologna sandwiches, cut them up with cheese. You had tuna fish and crackers, and you had them old cheap dollar coconut cookies and Kool-Aid. You didn't even care because your spirit man was so driven by where you was going, it wouldn't allow you to sleep. Okay, for those who ain't been to Six Flags, let me bring this back home, back this thing up a minute. Okay, at Christmas, you were younger, you knew in your mind it really wasn't no Santa Claus, but you wanted to keep believing in the 5th grade that there was a Santa Claus. Because they told you, they lied on TV, Brother Barry, and said, I see Santa Claus, he's over Cascade. Then they say he's detouring around Bankhead Courts and headed over here to Mays. He didn't stop in Bankhead. You on the southeast side of Atlanta, y'all better come to bed. Let me just tell y'all me. Y'all better come to bed, John, Deacon, Riri, y'all get in the bed, sound on the way. Just my mama. Carlos, get in the bed. Him and the mama, they were staying with us. We were family. We were family with 3 in the bed. Somebody say old school. Old school. For those who laughing. That's where it was. We all in the bed. Everybody's asleep. Everybody's asleep except me. I'm the oldest. I want to see now. I'm at a place where my spirit man that God has put in me has started to develop. And I hear my mom about 12:30. Now back then children went to bed at a decent hour. I wish I could have said that. Back then, mama, that's when kids went to bed on time. And if you had something, they hit you with a belt, shoe, spatula, and dare you to call defects. They'll get the phone for you. Because you know, back then we had phones that had the... You can't get the number quick enough by the time mama get down that hall. Pow! She giving instructions while she's swinging. Get in there! Pow! To the room. Well, back to the story. I'm waiting. I'm like, how Santa Claus keep bringing these toys? And I got to the point where I was like, how? He always bringing us used toys. Can I ride home with y'all? Tell my mom probably gonna let me. It was used toys, but my mom did the best she could. But I got up that night and I acted like I had to use the bathroom, and I walked across the hall. My mama and Aunt Dean in there, boy, they got butter knives trying to put the bites together. It was an unbelievable scene. It was an unbelievable scene trying to watch my mom and my aunt do what a man should have been doing. But they couldn't make an excuse. Now we dig it. Now we starting to dig it. Yeah, I found out that it wasn't no Santa Claus. I found out my mama and them were baking cookies they liked. And then heat the cookies up before they go to bed. How many know what I'm talking about? But what I did pick up out of this, Mr. Griffin, I picked up out of this, I saw my mom and my auntie Dean, God bless her, trying to put our toys together with butter knives.
All right now. That's all we had.
That's all they had back then. We didn't have a nice tool kit and the electric screw. We didn't do that. We lived across the street from a golf course, but we didn't have a golf course necessity. But what it taught me, Sister Lisa, I saw a mama who had anything but quit in her eyes.
All right now. All right.
She was going to get them toys ready, and it was going to be nice when we got up that morning. I didn't say that to my brothers. I laid on back in the bed, and I told myself then, I said, you're growing up. The truth has been revealed.
All right now.
So I had to look at the good, and then the good that God wanted me to see at that particular time was the fact that my mom had no quit in her.
Yeah.
She had my aunt didn't have no quit in her. They found a way to get them bites together. And I look back today and I be wondering, when we were putting our kids all together, I'm like, how my mom and them used to do this? Jan, I had the toy, I had screwdrivers and everything, fire that out, and me and my wife up there fussing back and forth. You doing that? I got this. Always something left out. I was in a tough place. I was in a bad place, man. I had been drinking, trying to put that stuff together, man. It was a tough place. Because baby, you left these screws go somewhere. They're going to be all right. I cheated to prevent me from quitting. Not realizing that in cheating, I had quit anyway. You think because you get there, through the way you get there, that is not God's way of getting there, you still quit. That there are no shortcuts in this thing called salvation. That there are no shortcuts in salvation. That cross is our bridge. And we have to cross that bridge, LaSarah, to get over to where God is. Jesus said it wasn't enough for me to die. I'm going to lay down so you can walk on me to get Jesus Christ, to get over to my Father. I'm making it to where you have no excuse to quit. So when you quit, that's because you become distracted, and it's everybody else's fault. Anytime you want to quit, let Pastor give you this. Always check yourself first. Always check yourself first. And if you can't figure it out, then look up and say, God trying to show me something. Because if I ain't getting nothing wrong and I'm getting treated like this, then I need to look to God and say, God, what you trying to show me? Just because you do it in his will and after his likeness don't mean you get it immediately. It means you need to move to the next part of the task. But we got so many punks and punkettes in the church now, we don't get past the task. We don't get past the midterm or the what we call the quiz and get to the final. Because we think the quiz should have been it. But that quiz was just one chapter. The problem is this book got 12 chapters. So you 1/12 a Christian.
1/12.
Think what Jeremiah was dealing with, and we'll stop here. He was dealing with his emotions. He was back, people talking about him, nobody ever said nothing good about him. How do you feel when people constantly talk about you and it's never nothing good? I know we're trying to hold up on the thing, let my haters be my motivator, but after a while, if all you ever getting is negative feedback, it'll wear on you. It'll wear on you. That's why it's amazing how Jesus got up the road to Dolorosa. Not so much the cross, but to hear the people who saw him work miracles and what they were saying. Just like the same people you help A lot of times the same people come right back around, huddle up and talk about you. The same person you sacrificed for, Tim, gave all you had, is the same one who put you in the caboose. They put you in the caboose. I gave you all everything for your locomotive. And now I got to ride in the caboose. It wears on you after a while. And if you sit here today and say it doesn't, stop lying. Because we all have emotions. We all are driven many times by our emotions because they are stronger than our spirit. Because we've been dealing with our emotions since birth. Or maybe before birth. You knew then if I start kicking long enough, my mama gonna feed me. Your mama has never even met you. And you've already figured out a way to get your mama to do what you want her to do. So it's just, baby, let me feed this baby. This honey, this baby, acting crazy. You never met the baby, but the baby has already figured out what it takes for you to feed him. Emotions. Emotions. He's dealing with emotions. I mean, the other emotion he deals with, Elder Lewis, you're a scholar. He deals with the emotion that God called him from a place where he was a prince to come over there and serve him. Now, to us in the world, it seemed like that's a degrade. But it really was an upgrade. And he just didn't realize because, again, he was a boy when he was going through a lot. It's amazing. The other thing he dealt with was frustration, because when you have emotions, frustrations come. You're frustrated. You hear people talk about you and you want to do better, but you don't know how to do better. Or it seems like you can't get a break to do better. Is there anybody in here who feels like, I want to do better, I just can't get a break? I know what I want to do. I just need a second chance. I need somebody to bet on me for a change. Who in here today needs somebody to bet on them for a change? So just bet on me for a change. I won't let you down, I promise. And nobody makes a noise and you become frustrated. I can imagine how the colonel for Kentucky Fried Chicken felt. It took him till he was 65 years old for his recipe for Kentucky Fried Chicken to be accepted. 65 years old. I can understand the frustration, but his perseverance was stronger than his frustration. So it caused him to continue to move. And look at the end. The end was great for him. I mean, his end, y'all still eat Kentucky Fried. You can afford it. And when you can't afford it, you go down the street to churches. Now, I hadn't did no research on churches. Okay, they don't like this today, Tony. They don't like this today, Elder. But it's the truth. When you ain't got no money, where you go? You don't go to Bojangles. You get the 2-piece snack with a pepper from where? There you go. Last thing that beat him up, and then we done for the day. I promise we'll get back on this in 2 weeks. His anxiety beat him up. His anxiety beat him up. He's had emotions, frustrations, now anxiety. I'm losing it, man. It's taking too long. I'm hyperventilating. They'll be like, why you hyperventilating? We outside on top of the car. I can't breathe, man, because my problems are more than the money that I have. I can't breathe, man. These creditors keep calling. I can't pay these student loans. Man, I don't know what I'm going to do. When my check come is already gone, I don't know how I'm going to make it. My kids keep needing A, B, and C. I want to be good and do right by. I'm going to the church. I'll never have no money. I can't afford to tithe right now because if I tithe, something's going to go lacking. You come to church with more on you than an hour sermon can deliver. You come to church with more pressure on you than a 1-hour sermon can deliver. And so you leave still with anxiety. You still leave wondering and pondering, how am I going to make it? How am I going to get over it? When are people going to like me? When am I going to see an end? Why being different mean being like the people in the world? I got my definitions mixed up. Why am I so perplexed in my decision making? Why I won't just make the right decision? Because of anxiety, because it costs you to be great. It costs you to be amazing. But you have to realize that I'm going to be amazing with or without mistakes, with or without falling. I'm going to be successful. I'm amazing. But now I got my guard and my armor on so I can take whatever blow coming. Oh yeah, I'm going to take, because you're going to get some blows. I got so many black eyes and bloody noses. I was always different. I was always a little different. I was always a little off center. I always loved everybody, but I just radical. Yeah. But that's what it took for me, and it wasn't that nobody else was saying. He just had me over here. Okay. Wow. You know, because we all coming on many roads to get to God. Yeah. You just have to make sure the road he has you on, that you stay on your road. As my daughter say, Daddy, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Jeremiah didn't want to stay in his lane, Marvell. He wanted to get out of his lane too quick because he wanted to be accepted. Like you want to get out of your lane too quick because you want to be acknowledged. You want to be known. You want everybody to see you and say, yeah, that joker tight. Amen. You know what's sad about that? I get more gratification and joy, and this is on everything, of this group of people here.
All right now.
Than I ever did playing in front of 90,000 people now. That's the God on his tree. I look forward to coming here each and every chance I get because of the gladiators that are going to meet me here. I knew those people in Athens, though they screamed loud, they was with me for a season. And it could be just for a quarter, depending on how I played. Okay. When church over, ask her. Me and my brother, he played cornerback. When we made a mistake, you hear it. They don't care who. They don't care if Barry, your son, they don't care about Barry. Your son jacked up out there, causing me money. And by the time you say so, they'll say, teach him football. That's what they say down the jar. Teach him about the G. My most gratification comes from here because down there, all you get is frustration and anxiety. Winning the game is expected, so there's not a lot of glory to him after a win. There's not a lot of glory after a win. You just go on to the next game. Think about Nico. Nico's blessed. He's doing great. Yeah. But think about his mindset. He don't have time to celebrate because tomorrow now determines his contract. Today is God. It's amazing. That's the thing with God. We don't have time to always celebrate because the Great Commission is always before us. The Great Commission is what Jesus left the disciples was what? Go and compel others to come. There's always a work to be done. So get out of yourself. Let God dwell and see what God got for you. Say, I tried it my way, I stunk up the place. I got my people mad, everybody mad because I'm mad, and I'm mad because I'm not where I want to be. I'm not where I want to be because I won't let God dwell in me. All right. So now I'm not where I need to be. So what comes after that? I want to quit. I'm throwing in the towel. I can't stand this job. You liked it when you first got it? What happened between then and now? What happened? They didn't promote me. What you didn't do? Because it's hard to believe that you did the best job you could and your job superseded everybody else's and nobody noticed. If they didn't notice, then God got you there for another reason. When it's time for you to move,
yeah, Lord, He's going to close that door.
He going to shut that one. And then I like how he said, he going to open up another door for you that no man can close. I love it. So you just keep doing what you're doing. And when it's your time, when it's God's time, he going to open up another door for you and shut this one so you can go on to your next assignment. So now the question still comes, are you amazing? If you're amazing, clap your hands. Amen. Give God the best glory, honor, and praise. Amen. Let your parents, you should stand to your feet. your life is none of my business, but I pray for you. But all the prayer in the world won't do you no good if you don't believe.
Tell the truth, Pastor.
Somebody who fallen, it's okay, I fall too. I fall every day. You're going to fall when you're striving for greater.
Okay.
Your failures have their place too, but that's another sermon. Failures have their place also. Don't harp on the failure. Get back up and try it again.